Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another stream. My music is blowing my ears off. How are y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. We got LOA7MD, Niche Dictionary, and Quad in the building. Let me know if you guys can't hear me okay. Switched the setup a bit around, messing around with a lot of stuff in here, trying to make it work. Trying to get it right. I'm a little yellow today, but when aren't you a little yellow? So, still holding our upwards trend line. Okay, we had a nice little drop off yesterday afternoon. Okay, high volume, 4-hour top wick, swept prior day high on ES, high volume, 6 a.m. candle, higher volume. Okay, on ES, it was the 10 o'clock candle. No, it was 6 o'clock candle. I'm blind. But swept that prior day high, and then we came off on the next candle. So not an A trade, but still high volume candle there. We had this nice engulfing 4-hour that came down. Of course, just like every other day, we're going to ask ourselves what liquidity matters and how do we get there. The way that we determine liquidity is really we want to know where people are positioned, right? Where people are positioned is going to decide really it's going to make them decide what they need to do when they do it. Okay, so the volume profile, for those of you new here, is my primary indicator. Okay, and really I use it to understand where people are in the market. Okay, we trade around these nodes. That's why my system is called the VPE, Volume Profile Edges. DAHC Currency Conquistador, what's up? Welcome back. Both of you, happy to see you both here in the mix. Got here. Pushing up here as well. So these overnight kind of liquidity seeks, with the continuation at the open higher has been a pretty standard pattern. You can see there's a 2 o'clock dip here. This was during RTH. But in an uptrend, you're looking to buy the lows, guys. Okay, I said it yesterday. In an uptrend, you want to ask yourself, can I buy the low of the day? The easiest way to trade. That should be your entire trading strategy. So whatever system you're using, whether you're using my system, whether you're using something terrible like ICT, whatever it is, in an uptrend, your goal is to somehow convince yourself that this is the low of the day, buy that thing and hold it, okay? What's cool about that is that it works as a day trade. It also works as a swing trade, okay? Depending on the slope of the market at the time, so long as we're not consolidating and ranging heavily. Okay, if you have a really good entry, you'll actually be able to hold that. Now, the one thing about this right here is that we do know that there is a trend line below us. So even if you entered right here, obviously we have this trend line here that could get retested. There's also a node right here. So in terms of liquidity that matters, there's a shelf right here, okay, that we need to be cognizant of and aware of. I need to change this track. Holy crap, what is this? Hold on, guys. I was listening you ever have something really old in your playlist and you're just like, what was I thinking at the time? Was I drunk? Probably was drunk. Not gonna lie. You just drink a lot. DAHC, Doc. That's a weird way to spell Doc. I like DAHC. In my mind, you are DAHC currency. That's the joy of the internet, Yeah, you never really know how other people are reading stuff. Nice green candle here. I do have a nice little long in I have a little Top Step account that I'm trading here. Do I need to enable streamer mode on this? Whatever. Hold on, guys. Let me hide some shit. So I got a nice little long here on Top Step. You can see I'm up about 5 G's in this account. So just trading small. This is like my gas money account. So really the only prop I'm trading right now, honestly. My boy Soul has been talking about it, so figured I'd give it a run. But yeah, nice little long here. Been holding that. We'll see how that goes. But if they stop me out, that's fine. I could lock in, you know, a couple $100 profit. What are we up? $316? Yeah. I do call it my gas money account because I drive a Z06, and I think I fill it up once a week, even though I barely drive. Good morning, OG Trade. Good morning. Good morning. So, name of the game here this morning is we need to see if they're going to hold this node and pop higher. Okay, so let's go to the 1 hour. Go to a low time frame. Low for me is 1 hour. What I'm really interested in, by the way, is the big money trade is swing long to 26,571. That's the big money trade. So I do have a swing long on to that target. You know, that my day trades are a hedge against. But really, I want to see if we're going to pop up higher. This could be seen as a bear flag, by the way. So if we flip our charts over, okay, you can see that we tested the previous day VAL, and this kind of looks like it could go higher, okay, but it's upside down. See what I mean? So this could be a bear flag. We need to hold this POC. We need to hold this overnight low, okay, and not traverse this block too much, okay? Testing, if we come down here, there's a pretty big imbalance below us, and we'll come and clean all that up. Right now, we have a pretty big imbalance. We do have FOMC at 2 o'clock as well. So interesting day. FOMC days are always interesting. I don't like the morning divergence. Not good for speculating on the indices. Okay, these things are pretty efficient. So when they're diverged, not really something you want to be trading with. ES and YM coming down. Taking my $170 here, still only looking for $100 a day. There you go. My gas money is small. There you go. Let's see if ES holds this VAL here and if we start to pop up higher. All money is good money. One of the things I've learned as I've made large sums of money is every dollar counts. I feel the same way about making, well, that's not true. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I like making $500 just like I like making $20,000 though. Like when I have a trade thesis that works out and I make 20 G's, I'm like, oh, cool, pat myself on the back. When I have a trade thesis, I make $500. But it's reduced risk either because I haven't been at my desk, which I really haven't been a lot right now. So I've sized down a bit on my day trades. My swing trades are basically normal size. But my day trades I've sized down. I still feel the same. I feel good because I just enjoy trading. I also know the power of kind of compounding. So, you know, making 8 or 9K a month, even if it's just that, is fine. I'll take the money. Oh my goodness, bro. Let me send one of my clients something here. Blowing me up. Sorry if you guys can hear background noise, by the way. We have construction going on in the space. My gas money is small. I want to try and hold this long, by the way. I want to see if we can get up to, we still haven't hit this measured move target, 25,335. I want to see if we can make it up to that. I don't know if we're going to make it up today. We would need to hold this node lower. Otherwise, okay, if this starts crashing, this is going to be the liquidity grab higher on NQ, and this is going to start to come for this trend line below as well. This is a problem when you have the markets on opposite sides of POC. Okay, most of the liquidity on NQ is below. Most of it in the relative, since overnight at least, on ES is above. Okay, they're opposites. And these are indices, so that's not necessarily good. Okay, not what you want to see at all. If you're new here, if you're here, chime in the chat. Looks like a few more people jumped on. Share this in the Discord. Share this in whatever Discords you're in, by the way. If you guys are in other trading Discords, have some people come through. I've actually been building an app for the giveaways, so we're not going to use the Google Forms. I built an entire app for the giveaways. So you can automatically enter. It'll automatically notify My Funded Futures of the winners. I've made it hands-off and slick. So that's pretty cool. I've been building that. Doing pretty good on the long. We're up $500. About $500. 3 M&Q. This is power trading small, by the way, guys. 3 M&Q. I'm up about $465. Don't need to trade that big to make some money. But a trade like this, a very non-A trade like this, kind of the setup that I'm in, especially with this entry, I'm not going to trade big on this. Now, my 4-hour setups, any trade that I get on the 4-hour, you can basically assume that I'm in a couple NQ on those ones, okay? But any of my discretionary, kind of just like, I have a pretty good inkling trades, I'm usually trading 3 to 5 M&Q, make a couple $100, make $1,000, and then I usually just roll that into the next trade that I take at full size. It's kind of my strategy. I think I'm going to take that right there. If they start to build value here, retest and do an in-shape bounce, I will re-long. So I just took profits on that a little bit. I'm going to see if they do something like this. Here, I also want to see if they let me check something here. Let me check something, folks. Cool. All right. Daryl, welcome back to the best place on the internet. What was that biotech stock that Martin Shkreli had called out, made a ton of money on? Anybody remember? Whoa, moving lines on accident. UPS still holding this. Crazy bear flag maneuver down here. See what Platinum's doing. Platinum flagged, came up, popped higher. I cannot wait to swing. When Platinum reverses, I cannot wait to swing this the other way. I wish I caught this long, but I didn't. I took a little short from this peak to this low here, waiting for it to break out. It bounced, and I took small profits on the bounce. And it's going higher. On the in-shape bounce, what's your entry criteria? Is it the touch of the node? Yep, liquidity. We want to see it go for liquidity. We want to see it traverse liquidity. So the best trades are going to be, okay, especially as we hold above the value area high here, some very key behavior that I want you guys to like write down. Okay, it's going to be, I'm going to spit some game for you. So the reason these lines matter, otherwise you shouldn't really use them, is I have it set to 70% of the value area. One standard deviation is 68%, okay? We're not going to get too mathematical. I'm just stating that so you understand what that is. That's statistically meaningful because it's, if you look at like a bell curve, that's where like most of the people are. That's where the non-exceptional people, that's where the non-tail of participation is, okay? Most of the people are in here. Okay, we are above where most of the people are. We're not really building too much value here. We'll actually go to the 15 really quickly, even though I hate the lower time frames. Anytime you hold above or below the value area high, value area low, it's meaningful. Okay, in a very rangy day, you will bounce and you will respect VAL, VAH. You see this happen pretty often. You've all seen this happen if you trade with this Vindicator on. You'll bounce off the VAL. You'll maybe intersect this a little bit, but you'll mostly stay around the D shape. Right now, we are building a little bit of value higher, okay, and we're holding above the value area high. Okay, so what I want to see is this going to retest liquidity at the edge of the previous node? So what could happen is, I mean, this could reshape. It's going to do like another node like this. But what I would prefer to do is it actually retest the value area high, right? Value area high basically becomes support, okay? And we get like a shape like this, okay? If this is exceptionally bullish, it'll just start to run. But I took my morning profits for now. We got 15 minutes till 10 a.m. We'll see how the 4 hour is going to close. Right now, the 4 hour looks like it's going to close as a very big up candle, but we're not going to front run that candle, okay? Why are you closing, Forrest? Because this was not an A trade. This is a very discretionary trade that I took, okay? I just longed figuring that this price action was going to happen, but I'm not a price action trader. I'm a volume profile trader, okay? The money that I made today is really insignificant. I'll say it like that. I just wanted to make some bucks because I knew I was right about something. It's not scalable, and it's not a good example of how to trade, to be honest. But I took it. And I'll just roll that money into the next A trade. The system that I trade is around volume profile edges, prior day low, prior day high, overnight low, overnight high. Okay, those are the A trades. Those are the trades that you can, more importantly, leverage into. I say the money that I made today is insignificant because if I'm trading 3 to 5 NQ on my A trades, you know, it really is insignificant. SPRB, Spruce Biosciences. Spruce Biosciences. Wow, look at that chart. Oh my God. This went from $10. Ooh, well, somebody became a, sorry for my language, fucktillionaire after that one. Here's the real story, though, of this ticker. Look at all the money that people lost. So this truly was a ticker to trade, okay? This was a ticker to trade. I mean, if you had this thesis, great. But from an equity holding, I mean, the value of this thing is absolute dog water. It's dog water. I'm sure this is like reverse stock splits and things like that, but still, holy crap, that's a terrible chart. Absolutely terrible chart. Fun to look at, though. There's like 20 of those a day. If you look across the market, guys, the reason stuff like that, I don't really get FOMO anymore, is like there's like 20, literally 20 of those a day. Every single day. There's another one. This thing is pushing, huh? We respected that VAL. This might run all the way up to prior day high from here. Very well could. We just got at the previous day value area high, though. So prior day high is up here. Obviously, you guys can see it here. I'll just put it on the chart so you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys will be lost. That's okay. That's why I'm here to guide you. I'm captain of your little trading ship. Prior day high. Value area high, though, is yesterday's edge of where most people are. Okay? The non-tail of people. So we've traversed that auction. That is meaningful. Today on ES, we have a pretty normal distribution, though. We have a D shape, and it's much more skewed on NQ. These divergences are important, guys. They're very, very important. If you look at the days where your trade performance is good versus where it's bad, if you look at the shape of the auction, you're going to start to notice that that's correlated. You're going to notice that your P&L and your ability to accurately predict price action is correlated with the shape of these distributions, especially if you're not using these today, right? Because the market's going to go after liquidity, and when it's diverged like this, they need to converge. Okay, ES and NQ will not make a leg on the macro until these converge, okay? I promise you. They'll do some rangy stuff. They'll range all types of weird craziness. They will not make a macro move until they converge, okay? I promise you. And your overnight high and low is based on close of market yesterday to open of market this morning. Overnight is settlement open, so 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till market open. So settlement open to regular trading hours open. 6:30 to 9:30 is all overnight for me. Okay, so the overnight low, just as an example, for me, it's kind of marked here. This is the previous session overnight low. Overnight low here is the lowest low from the overnight session. Be right there. So that is the relevant overnight low. That's meaningful because we have EU. Everyone always talks about EU session, right? Asia. Okay, so these participants are all showing up, and there's the little volume spikes that we can see around 3 a.m. in particular. 3 to 4 a.m. is a key time in the market if you're going to trade that. I'm old, so I sleep. But yeah, overnight low, overnight high. Overnight high doesn't matter. We've already taken it out in the open. We're in an up market. Overnight low on whatever ticker this is, ES. It's over here. Any trades I've taken today? Yeah. I just closed a long. If you rewind my stream, I had some longs on my top step accounts. I gave a sneak peek to those. But here's the game plan for today, guys. I'll give you an actual game plan. I realize I haven't done that. I've been kind of just doing a play-by-play. 10 o'clock is coming up in 8 minutes. We want to see how the 4-hour closes, and we want to see, have we cleaned up any liquidity with this 4-hour candle that's going to give us intuition about what the next candle should be. Okay, so 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. are key candles for me every single day. So when we talk about key liquidity, let's just get rid of the session volume profile for now. We'll simplify our charts a bit, okay? There is this liquidity block above. We have this low right here. Get our arrow tool. There's a low right here that has confluence with this level, 24, let's just call it 25,000. 25,000 is the edge of a shelf, okay? And there's also this low here from yesterday, prior day low, okay, at 24,984. We have this trend line below. So if we wanted to clean all of this auction up and respect our uptrend, we'd come down and we'd retest this trend line. There's about 3 confluences there, right? There's the edge of the auction, there's the prior day low, and there's the trend line. Cleaning all of that up would be a great place to long for higher off of this trend line. Trend line needs to be fixed. It is not correct exactly. The trend line should always be exact. So that would be a great place to long. I will say, though, because of the low value here, this could crack this trend line, and we could do a higher low off of, this little auction down here. Same on ES. Okay, let's take a look at ES here. We do have kind of this consolidation here that could be interpreted as a bear flag. Okay. We have a very, very big engulfing candle in NQ, which could tweezer down. Okay. You get a tweezer in the other direction. But we want to see on the 4-hour, that's about to close in a few minutes, in 6 minutes now. What auction has been swept. Today's setup so far, for those of you who are like, I don't really see it, that's because it's ass. Okay, today's setup is not good. It's not good so far. Okay, and that's great information for us as traders. That's great information. You needed to long this yesterday. As soon as you saw this come out, this was the long to take yesterday. Okay, if you're a prop trader, obviously trading into settlement is tough, but this was the long to take, right? This pattern here, right, where we seek liquidity and then it bounces out of it. That's the trade you should have taken. At this point, you've missed this trade. You cannot be trading this trade. This trade is done for you. Okay, you want to, even if you, and I say this all the time, if you long here and you make money, you're still bad. Okay, because it's not repeatable. You don't want to long highs, generally speaking, not in no man's land. Okay, if you break out with confirmation is a different thing. This is in the middle of a range. You're at like 60% of this range. So even if you make money on this trade, trading like that, you're going to lose money on the next 4. So what you want to do is wait for a good setup, a good trade. Ask yourself, what do I think the next 4 hours are going to look like? How do I think the daily candle is going to close, more importantly? If you don't have intuition about how the day is going to close, then you're very likely chasing candles and price action. But start on the daily chart. Let's get rid of some of these other lines. I don't like having all these levels up here. It's confusing. We'll get rid of this. We don't need that. Okay. You should have one primary possibility above, one primary possibility below. So ask yourself, what do you think the day is going to do? Yesterday on ES was a higher volume doji, right? Stacked. We're kind of barcoding on ES, and we're also barcoding / consolidating on NQ. So this is either going to be a flag to bring us into our macro target, 26,571, or this high volume doji on the daily will bring us lower. I will say, even though this is a high volume doji at the high, this is this type of doji in an uptrend on the macro has failed many times before. Okay, it would be better if this was like a shooting star candle. Okay, so a little bit of just nuance there on signal candles on the macro. Do you mind diving more into the logic of trading your idea versus trading your P&L while managing my risk with small account size and keeping individual losses under 10% of account size if wrong? I've seen people trade like as a percent of their account size. I don't do that. My advice, my coffee has just arrived. You want to say hello to my internet people? They're in the... This is my assistant, Elena.
Hello. Here with coffee.
She brought me coffee. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna look at those.
They changed that shoot time, by the way. You see in Slack? Until... Hold on. Hold up.
Oh, 12.
Yeah, they start at 12. So you got 2 hours. Cool. Thank you.
Do you have an SD card reader I can borrow? So I can
Um,
send these photos for
There's
together?
there's one on Drew's desk. Yeah. Parvati, yes, good morning. So my advice, Conquistador, would be don't think about your P&L at all. Trade as small as possible. This is really hard for new traders to do because you guys are so focused on making money. But I would just trade as small as possible. As absolutely small as possible. Which is going to be 1 M and Q. Trade 1 to 2 M and Q. I'll tell you one of the things that I did. There's a trader in my Discord. I won't name his name because I've already beat him up enough. But he kept asking me for help. And I said, what I want you to do is I want you to trade at most 2 M and Q for the next 30 days. That was a challenge. And I want you to be profitable on 2 M and Q. Okay, by default, you're only going to lose so much money. You can lose a lot of money with 2 M and Q is the thing. Okay, but if you don't feel like you can confidently make money with 2 M and Q, you won't make money with more leverage. You just won't. And as a new trader, your goal is to collect data about yourself. Okay? It's not about my system. It's not about another system. You're collecting data about yourself. And I know you've done a pretty good job of this, Conquistador, so I'm not just talking to you. I'm using your question as a springboard, really, for everybody. But for you, I would say trade as small as possible. Ignore your P&L entirely. Don't change your risk constantly based off of 10% of your sizing. Instead, set a goal for yourself. Write it down. Make it real. Put it in front of you. Put it literally in front of you every single day what your goal is. I woke up today to accomplish this purpose. My purpose might be to trade 30 days to M&Q. And every day that I accomplish and get a little bit closer to that goal, I'm going to check a day off. Success. Mission accomplished. It doesn't matter if I made money. It doesn't matter if I lost money. We're really popping up here. That is going to be your mission as a trader. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to build an unbelievable level of confidence. Okay? And as a result of that confidence in having data, not having pep talks from me, okay, when you guys look at your own data about yourself and you're like, wow, I was green 4 days out of 5 every single week. Every single week, you're going to feel really good about yourself. And then when you leverage up, you're not going to be asking people for trade ideas because you can just look at your own journal and know that you can trade. And that is the key to becoming a good trader, is you have to have your own data. You have to have your own wins, own notches on your belt. Okay. I remember being, this is going to be very much a high school thing, but I remember being in high school. I was undefeated in my events in high school. Okay, I was a 300-meter hurdler. I was undefeated. And as the season went on, and that year was where I didn't lose, you could not tell me that someone was faster than me. No one could beat me. You could not beat me. I don't care what you said. I don't care if I was hurt. I don't care if I was having a bad day. You were not going to win. Because in my brain, the only thing that I could remember is winning. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter, like it doesn't matter how hard you trained. You just weren't going to win. And nobody ever beat me. It never did. That's what you guys have to create for yourself. You have to create a disgusting level of confidence. And I cannot do that for you. I can give you the tools. I can tell you what to do. I can tell you how to build the confidence, but you got to build the confidence. I'll give you guys the bricks. You got to lay them. We're popping up higher. Okay, so we have some congruence in our tickers, finally. Both above POC, both very bullish. We do have FOMC at 2, remember? Could have kept that baby long on, but that's okay. We'll get another one. I want to try and catch a full-size trade in the afternoon. That will be the goal for today. Do not be surprised, guys. Let's see. Let's see if they're building value here on ES. If they build value, this is just going to keep running up for sure. But if you go back and rewind my stream, the question was, are they going to respect this VAL retouch and then go higher? Right, or was this going to tweezer lower? And they respected this and went higher. So NQ was leading there, popped up. The tickers look much more similar now. Okay, now that they've converged right here at 10 o'clock, mind you, you can see what's going to happen. So the 10 o'clock candle, very small candle, baby candle on ES there. NQ 10 o'clock candles, this nice big old boner candle, as the people like to call it. It's true, if M&Q you won't scalp, you will wait. Yeah, I mean, I want all of you to make much more than, a couple $100 here and there, chasing a payout. Okay, think about that. So you guys are like, there's nothing wrong with prop firms, but they do have their downsides. Okay, they're a great leverage tool. But so many of you guys are like chasing, like, oh, I got a payout. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, for those of you who haven't heard it, I've been trading for a very long time. I trade my own account. Okay, there was no concept of a payout when you trade your own account. You just make money. You have to pay yourself. You have to decide, like, hey, I'm going to send money from my trading account to my personal account. And I did that for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. Okay, I made 7 figures trading my own account, not trading prop firms, which is fine. But the whole prop firm game it warps your perception of what it means to be a trader. Undoubtedly, for sure. Even the best prop traders, I don't think, will struggle to trade for real because they've never. It's just a different switch. Okay, and I don't mean that to down them. I just think it's a fact. Okay, they don't know how to manage capital properly. They know how to manage prop accounts, which is its own skill. Okay, but as a newbie, which is really the people that I focus on in my audience and people who are trying to figure this thing out, you're chasing this idea of a payout where if you made $100 today in your own account, then you made $100. You could spend that money today. Okay, after taxes, take 20% out for taxes, capital gains. But you could spend that money today. You could trade in the morning and you could use that money for lunch today. Today. You can make $200. You go to the store, buy your mom something nice today. Okay, you don't need to chase these massive big payouts. And the flip side of that is that these payouts, because you're chasing payouts, you miss the bigger picture. And on the bigger picture is way more money. Okay, when you trade leverage products like options, there's way more money to be made on these trades, far exceeding, a little payout from whatever, choose your prop firm of choice. That's why I call this gas money. Okay, I got to sit here at my desk, make content and stuff for trading, so I trade these props. This is gas money, guys. It is literally gas money. There's way more money out there. But you got to do step A to do step B to do step C to do step D. I have years of journaling, years and years of journal entries, There's no shortcut to years of journal entries. Okay, if you want to make millions of dollars in 10 years, then you need to be fine with slowing down today and doing the right activities. A lot of you guys are trying to race to the finish line, and you're tripping on yourselves. What was that about the message? Can't remember. Breach. Try, man. Popping up, continuing to run higher. Holy smokes. Still going. So, remember yesterday, I'll say it again for anybody who missed it. In an uptrend, your only goal should be trying to buy the day's low. So at this point, if you missed it, and this is the hardest part for new traders, you're like, man, I want to trade right now. Your goal is not to trade. Your goal is to make money. Okay? So you can't really buy the day's low here. It's literally impossible. So if you miss that, you need to ask yourself, okay, what about yesterday? What about the setup from yesterday would have allowed me to get the entry? How would I have seen this entry? And then what do I think is going to happen again? Is the market going to skyrocket up forever because I have FOMO and do this? Of course not, guys. Of course not, okay? It's not going to happen. And if it does happen, Okay, let's just say if it does happen. Let's say that the market does skyrocket up and you're like, no, I missed the craziest day. You know what's going to happen? It's going to do this. Okay, there will be another entry. I promise you. How do I know? Well, luckily, we have all the information about the chart ever, right here. We can see what the price action does. So let today go and focus on the next good trade. Okay. If the successful version of you walked in over your shoulder and you explained to them what you're about to do, would they be like, oh, that's a good idea, or would they call you an idiot? Okay. You want to be able to impress yourself. So the next best trade is going to be we sweep prior day high. Okay, that's the next liquidity target. Prior day high is coming up. We have this node here that we're traversing right now. Okay, this auction. Once we traverse this auction and or sweep this high, we will get a reaction. Why? Because this is the edge of participation. Edge of participation here. This is also all-time highs, by the way. Okay, keep that in mind. And there's a massive imbalance that we've created. Ask yourself, what happens when we create these big imbalances? We have a pretty recent example of what happens when you create a big imbalance, because we just had one yesterday. We had a very big imbalance get created, and look what is happening as a reaction to it. Okay, we're racing through it. There's a very recent example right there. So this is getting filled. We're popping up higher. Ask yourself what is most likely to happen next. If we get a signal candle up here, that'll be a great trade. It could consolidate higher and flag. Okay, we could do something like this. Okay, outline the possibilities. Okay, and we could crack this measure move target. Okay, and what might actually happen is that we hit our target like this, and we flag at this level. Might be a possibility. Just might. Oh my goodness. My legs hurt. This slow, grindy day is slow and grindy. Nice up action though. Let me get some better music in here. That's my problem. Oh snaps! Let's put some freaking fire on. Let me see if I can fix this giveaway app. If you guys use lovable.dev, let me show you this app. So this is a very similar like V0. It's like a no-code, low-code tool. But your giveaway entry, you're going to be able, you all enter your email here, your username, and it'll be automatic. So this is the thing that I'm building for the giveaways going forward. And what I just decided today is I'm going to make a login. So once you've created an account in my little giveaway portal, you'll be automatically entered into all the giveaways forever. You'll also get an email notification when you win. It's going to be super automated. Why? Because I don't have time. And I'm the bottleneck on the giveaways. 100%. It is me. It's my fault. So I want to fix that, make it scalable, make sure you guys get the accounts that you win. And yeah, make it a little more exciting to come and participate. Ignore this image. It's me doing a handstand. A little test image. I've used it during a vibe coding company event. Yeah, it's great. I use Cursor and for like my options trading tool, like Forrest. I don't think a lot of you guys have even seen Forrest. Let me show you Forrest real quick. I need to come back and work on this a little bit more. It's been a little bit neglected. So this is a options research tool that I built. I built this by hand, by the way. But the main feature is this options chart page. So maybe I want to look at like SPX, I don't know, 6,500 calls expiring today. What is SPX at actually? Let's look at SPX 6,700. Okay. So SPX 6,700 calls. Okay. Has TradingView charts loaded in there. And then I can quickly like search and ladder through these. So that's fine for current tickers. The main thing though is that I can go and look at historical options. And so I mostly use this for like if I want to look up, you know, if I go back to TradingView and on SPX, I want to see like something that happened in December, right? Or like I want to look at this day. So a lot of brokerage tools cut off your data, or if I want to go way back, because maybe I think there's a setup like this happening again, right? And I want to look at what the calls did. So let's look at SPX 5485s on April 9th. 5485s, April 9th. So let's go to April 9th, and let's look at 5485s. So we can kind of see what those calls did on that day. But I probably want to look at, hold on. Let's go back starting to the 7th. So the real power is I could change the date range. We won't start on the 9th. We'll start on the 7th. Whoops, not October 7th. We want to go to April 7th. Yeah, and you can see that the low of these, I could have got in for, you know, 5 cents on these calls. And then at the peak here, they were $12, $18. They were $18, 5 cents to $18. So actually, I have this little table down here. I forgot I made this. Okay, 5 cents is the low. Highest high was $18. So if you would have traded those perfectly, 5 cents to $18. Let's do 18 divided by 0.05. 360 return. You return $1,000 into $360,000. So that's what I use this tool for, is research for asymmetric returns. The gamma trades that I take, if you heard me talk about those, that's what this is. I never advertise this thing. This thing is public. There's a few users. There's a plan. I pay a lot of money for this data in real time, and there is an AI chatbot tool as well. Like, what was the highest ROI last Friday? This is the thing that this is most useful. It's probably broken right now. I need to fix that. So, whoops. Oh, an error occurred. Love that. But yeah, I'm gonna come back, fix this. So the point of the chatbot is that it'll actually tell you, if you ask it anything about the return on any given day, it'll give you an answer. It does work. I know it doesn't work right now, but it does work. It usually works. I broke something recently because I've been refactoring a lot of code. So check that out, or not. Back to the charts. Still moving higher. Any updates on the live event? Not yet, to be honest. I'm spread incredibly thin, man. I need to finish getting this set up. I'll see. I want to get some collaborators in town. I have Riz is actually shooting with me today. I'm gonna try and catch his ear and get some other traders on board. But I just need to pick a date. There's just a lot. There's so much going on, guys. There's so much going on. I've been very busy. I'm about $250,000 into building out this new building as well. So there's a lot going on. How do we apply the information in real time to pick strike price? Just poke around, do research. It truly is just a research tool. It doesn't give you like, hey, do this. I use it for the way that I use the tool is like on a day like yesterday, I want to know what the most amount of money I could have made is. Now, the reason I want to know what the most amount of money I could have made is because over time, if I keep asking that question, I'll choose better strikes in real time. So when you're actually day trading options, sometimes you're like, well, should I go this strike, this delta? And there's a lot of things, but I like to look at what the absolute maximum is on a trade, and then in real time, I can conservatively pick better strikes. For example, on a lot of my gamma trades, I'll easily make 10x or 20x, but that's because I know the maximum return, if it really runs, would be like a 50 or 60. So it's easy for me to make a 10 or 20, even though that sounds crazy, but it's better than going for like 100 or 200%er. I don't really want to make, I'll take 200%, but making 200% on a trade that could 10x or 30x feels bad. So that's what I use the tool for, is to better understand how strike prices are affected on my A setups, and just my A setups. I don't care about anything else. I only take like 4 or 5 option trades a month tops. I'm really only interested in the best setups and really, really lengthening the lever on those to squeeze the juice out of those trades. I see historically it was at 5 cents and then raised to 8, but then what was once I have the information. Yeah, so the idea then is if there's another day like that where you think the same thing is going to happen, and this is a really good question, this is where it's useful. Most days, 99% of the time, you do not want to buy contracts that are 5 cents. The reason they're priced at 5 cents is because they're worth 5 cents. They're literally worthless. But sometimes there's going to be a day where you're like, this is a pretty crazy setup on the macro. Where did my chart go? There it is. Okay. Let's say we have some other macro dip like this, and you're trying to figure out what to buy. And you're like, is it reasonable for me to buy calls that are 5 cents this far out? You know what I mean? I'm on NQ, but it's the same chart on SPX. And when you have data to inform that decision, now 5 cents doesn't sound crazy. Most people are buying 5-cent contracts every day, gambling. Again, I said I trade options 4 to 5 times a month, maximum. Okay? I'm really hunting for gold, but I'm using a freaking, I can't think of the rest of an analogy. I'm using information. Okay? I'm not just shotgunning at the market trying to find lottos. Okay? I don't believe in lottos at all. I really don't think that you should gamble as a trader. You need informed speculation. SPXW 6,700 puts went from 3 cents to 10.90. Yeah. SPX, let's see here. You said what? 6,700 puts? Yeah, let's take a look at those. So we'll go to 4spot, we'll go to option charts. 6,700 puts yesterday on the 7th. And you can see these are the puts yesterday. So this is much more relevant. Thanks for adding this. So the lowest low was 3 cents. Now, you have to also look at the volume at the low, all that, but this is just to give you some metrics around it, okay? If it's low volume and you try to get 1,000 contracts, the price is going to go up. I'll tell you that right now. But you might get in at like $1, 50 cents, 20 cents, all right? 20 cents to $10 is a great return. So there's opportunity here. Okay, you can see the average price in these ranges was about right under $1. So you still could have got a nice 6, 7, 8, 9, 10x on these puts yesterday if you had the thesis. So this shows you what's possible. Okay, if you were someone who got in for $1 and sold for $2.50, you might be annoyed, right? But if you know that this is possible in this time of day with this setup, put it all together, now you have a better trade idea. Much better trade idea. But it's just a research tool. That's all it is. It is not a magic button. It's just something that I built. Originally, it was just a terminal. It was like a console tool. It would just spit out a bunch of data. Then I added an interface to it, and then I connected it to our Discord, right? So it's connected to our Discord as a bot as well. And, some people use it, and it is what it is. It's there. It's out there. All right, we're getting a little bit of a top wick here. Not sure who could have predicted that 6,700 was a prior day low. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very unlikely you would have predicted the run to here. I would have cut mine at 67.06. Going for lower, I mean, there is this node here, but I'll tell you guys right now, I would have cut mine here. So I probably would have got 7 to 8x, but I didn't take that trade. So shoulda, coulda, woulda. I usually trade edge to edge. Typically speaking. Oh, man. Man. Just dropped and spilled my coffee all over my place. Hold up. Smokes, guys. That's not the move. Straight up fumbled my hands. Got latte all over the ground. Alrighty. That was crazy. Well, it's 3 minutes till 10:30. It's your last chance to ask me something today. We will do the giveaway on Friday. So come back, tell your friends if they want a possibility to win a free 50K account. Come through the stream on Friday. Slide on through. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Or forever hold your peace. Man. Niche Dictionary, good to see you. Deuces. Follow me on Instagram, by the way, guys. A lot of fun stuff on there. I mostly just shit posts, but gonna start sharing some trading clips on there very soon. But it's just a good way to see what else is going on. Trading is just a sliver of my life. I do many more other things. Unlike a lot of YouTube trading personalities, where this is their entire being, this is far from my entire being. I have no desire to only be a trader. Been trading for a long time. The whole point of trading was to give me flexibility and freedom. So I have this business here that I spend most of my time working on. I'm also a break dancer. Yeah, I do a lot of fun stuff in the real world. But check that out. Also going to start posting some non-trading stuff to the channel, probably a little bit more just about the business, entrepreneurship. I could make a new channel. I don't know if I want to do all that, but if you guys have questions about operating a business, projections, hiring people, leadership, firing people, bringing products to market, marketing, branding, all of those things, I spend a lot of time doing that, right? So again, trading is just one part of my life. Software development, AI, where it fits in the grand scheme of things. I would love to have those conversations as well. So, Forrest, I sent an email from my pending account. By the way, I make it to funded of one account got here. Hey, congrats. Good job, man. Love that for you. That's sick. That's sick. I'll check your account. I'm not going to go spend too much time going back and forth with the accounts, guys. I think make sure your emails, I'm going to add disclaimers, make sure your emails are correct. I'm going to automate this going forward. I honestly, and I apologize, I don't have too much time to like chase down these accounts and keep track of it. They are free, so I will do my best, but it's not going to spend a ton of cycles on that. But I will look. Got 5 days of $100. Let's go. Let's go. Cool. All right, y'all. Well, with that, I am out of here. I hope that all of you have an amazing rest of your hump day. Today is yet another opportunity to get a little bit better. No matter how your day started, we're only a quarter of the way through it. Okay, if you had a bad morning, whether it's at trading, whether it's at work, whatever it is, if you're peeved off, if you're pissed off, if you feel discouraged, you don't believe in yourself, you feel like you don't got it, that's okay. It's okay to be discouraged. It's okay to feel bad. You just can't stay discouraged. You can't stay feeling bad. Okay, so go for a walk, get some sunlight. If it's raining, okay, go do something else.